Welcome to another episode of the 941 podcast. I'm your host, the Walk and Talk and Apple product, Apple Tech Video, and I'm also joined here with the Rhino, Mr. R.
What's up?
And I'm also joined here with Bill Well.
Hey guys.
And we have been joined by a special guest. His name is
The YouTuber who thinks he's relevant but really isn't.
How's it going, all I talk?
Pretty good, my dude.
That's good.
How are you?
That's good. Yeah. So, if you guys want to talk on more episodes in the future, let us know down below in the comments. Our goal is to eventually get him on as a regular host, but if that doesn't happen, he'll just come on as a guest every once in a while. But we'll just see what happens, guys. And once again, Game has not shown up, unfortunately, but he'll probably be here next episode. We will see. Alright, guys, in our first topic, it has to do with a possible fake jailbreak. Now, the community is saying that this is fake. We don't know if it's exactly fake, but a lot of people have made tweets about this, retweeting it, saying that it's not legit. We don't know too much on the topic. I know more than than everybody else in this call, but even I don't know that much. There's not much details on it, but this guy, he's put out a demo of a jailbreak and people just don't know if it's legit. Bill's explained that he actually knows this guy, so
I don't know him, I just like of him, and I've been following him recently, and it looked like whatever he was doing could be promising. I think he had a couple of exploits that he was going to release, and it was probably one of the guys I was looking forward to seeing what he does in terms of the iOS 12 jailbreak. I'm looking at the video right now. I mean, I can see how it could be faked. A lot of these jailbreak demos are easily fakeable by all sorts of means.
Yeah, it's really easy to fake them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say I'm hopeful for this, but time will tell, and I'm still sticking with my timeline of we'll get an iOS 12.0 to 12.0.1, maybe 12.1 if we're lucky by Easter.
Yeah, I think February, to be honest. But I saw Jailbreak Buster, actually followed Jailbreak Buster on Twitter. I saw like a few other accounts too, but Jailbreak Buster's like the main one that I saw talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
He was just talking, he's like retweeting and he was talking about like this whole thing, he wasn't sure if it was real or fake. He's more leaning towards the fake side, but I just found it interesting. I thought this could be an interesting topic to talk about. I mean, it's hard to say, we really don't know that much. I mean, you get a video, of him demonstrating what's going on here. We really don't know that much. So who knows? This could be fake. It might not be. I don't know.
Yeah.
So on his Twitter, if you go through his whatever it's called, the media section, tweets and replies, he does have a lot of legitimate looking information.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's got a lot of constant updates. So he is putting a lot of effort into this, but also scammers can do that. So
honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
For me personally, I don't know him. I've never seen him until today. So I think that I'm leaning more towards he's probably fake, because why would people just make this up out of nowhere, But at the same time,
money.
I'm slightly thinking maybe he's legit. Who knows? I honestly don't have a clue, what's going on here, but...
I mean, basically with this one, you could basically kind of look at it both ways. If it's fake, then that would be kind of lame. If it's not fake, then it's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's fake?
Me personally, I don't really keep up with jailbreaks that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I keep up with it every once in a while, though.
Yeah, the name's got to be official. Otherwise, I don't really care at all.
Honestly, I think that it's probably fake, but I don't know. It's so hard to tell. With Zig Team, for example, they released a fake jailbreak. A couple others, they fake it so well, people believe it. And I mean, with this guy, he looks kind of legit in a way, but it also doesn't. So it's really hard to tell. This is just we'll have to wait and see what happens kind of situation.
You know what was weird in that video though? He didn't even show Cydia. He just showed settings and the Photos app.
I saw that
too.
And if anything, I was like,
the phone was really laggy.
It could be, that could lead to something.
I don't know. You think if you're gonna show a video that you're jailbroken, you'd probably show off Cydia. Wouldn't that make sense? He just has some weird pop-up saying jailbreak successful. If you think about it, he could have gone through Siri shortcuts or something and done that. But what's weird is he goes over to the iPad and the what was it? Like, he's got some weird screen on his iPad. It's not, like, in complete view, which is weird. If you're gonna, like, show off a jailbreak and show why it's great, wouldn't you show the full screen? But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and then, well, I can get your Cydia explanation out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
Jailbroken doesn't necessarily mean you have Cydia installed, especially with Cydia being so outdated. There had to be a lot of patches just for it to work with iOS 11.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's not really that valid of an argument, to be honest.
Oh, dang. I'm clueless then. Ooh.
I mean, then it really goes back on the thing that I was saying earlier. Why fake a jailbreak to begin with, though,
Yeah, well, people do it for the publicity. They do it for the
follower
publicity.
boost.
Yeah.
Money.
I mean, but before today, I never even heard of this guy. Like, everybody just started talking about him. His name is @UmanG here. That's his on Twitter. And his tweet...
I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah. But his tweet says, perhaps the junkiest ever demo of a jailbreak. Unfortunately, there's no ETA for this, or if it'll ever be released, or if it'll even be released. So that's kind of what we're talking about. If you got anybody watching, if you know what that tweet's about, that's pretty much what the tweet is saying. But honestly, I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell if this is fake or not. I mean, he doesn't really he doesn't seem, like scummy. He doesn't seem like, because if he wanted to fake a jailbreak, he would have went all out like other fake people have in the past. But maybe this is like a new tactic he's trying out to fake a jailbreak, but make people believe. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just feel like he should have shown more proof. Like, the video just seems kind of odd. Like, he gets a pop-up, and that's really it. And he types in some code that's too blurry to really see.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I'm not a jailbreak developer, so I wouldn't really know exactly what the code is.
He's SSHing into his device, I think, am I referring to the right stuff in the video?
Like I'm saying, like a jailbreak developer, they would probably see the lines of code and be like, oh, that looks familiar. I mean, I hope. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I think that, if he really wanted to, he could possibly make this, this could possibly be legit, and this is just like the beginning stages. But at the same time, this could just be a brand new strategy to fake a jailbreak, because nobody's done this before. Usually they make it super legit to the point where, everybody is believing it. They cover up everything, like any doubt. They're like, oh yeah, this is, taken care of. Like this looks legit. This looks legit, But with this guy, it's not, it looks like he's trying to make a jailbreak, and it's not like he's saying it's successful or anything. So in that way, it makes me think, what if this is like a new tactic he's trying to, trick people, So, I don't know.
True.
We haven't seen many fake jailbreaks recently, so I mean, this could be somebody just trying a new tactic, so who knows?
I mean, true, people do that all the time, so wouldn't be like anything new if somebody trying to fake something.
Yeah. I mean, like last year and the year before, jailbreaks getting faked was crazy. This year we barely see it, so, it's hard to tell at this point when a fake jailbreak is coming out. Of course, eventually, once more proof comes in, you can tell, but in the beginning, it's kind of hard to tell.
Dude, I'm literally on a Wikipedia list of, it's called the iPhone Wiki, and it's just a list of jailbreak fake domains, and they're all of, like, the evasion jailbreak, and, like, so
Pengu as well, like, or CydiaJailbreak.com, like, probably stuff like that.
Yeah, CydiaJailbreak.org, CydiaPro.com, so, yeah, I don't know, it's just, there's a lot of scams out there, and some of them, they make you pay, they make you sign a survey, and then it's not even real.
Yeah, like, there was some stupid fake that made you install an app on the App Store using their link. You play the game for 5 minutes, then reboot the device, and Cydia is there. It's such a fake scam.
I remember that. In fact, I remember when I was, like, on iOS 6 or something, when my iPod Touch, I was so happy that, a fake jailbreak was released. I fell for it, downloaded an app on the App Store, and I was like, oh, where's my jailbreak? And it never happened.
When I was new to the whole iOS thing, and I saw stuff like that, I kind of believed it because I barely knew anything about iOS. I was just learning everything. But of course, very quickly I learned what was going on here,
Yeah, it took me a few tries. But...
Yeah, like, I mean, it's funny, like, 'cause they make you think
I can't say that I haven't downloaded a few app or two from the App Store just to play it for 5 minutes and hopefully get a jailbreak. Looking back on me now, I was like, oh boy.
And that guy's probably able to make a down payment on a car now, so...
Exactly, but remember... Open App MKT, they were another fake service.
God.
They wanted you to pay to get Cydia.
I remember that. I remember, like, downloading that, like, 40 times, wondering why I did. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean that was like another one. That one and the download an app on the App Store. Those were the main two that got me. The other ones I could tell were fake. So I mean, it wasn't like I was 100% clueless with what's going on. But it's just those two main ones really got me when I first started out.
It was pretty cool though. Very well made.
Yeah, exactly.
Too bad it didn't work.
I know, cause I don't know. One day, hopefully, we get like it gets easier to jailbreak. But at this point, it's just gonna get even harder. So.
Yeah. The secret is just don't ever update ever.
Yeah, I mean shortcuts. That's the thing though. Half the things you could do with a jailbreak, you can kind of do with the city or with shortcuts now. In a way, it's not completely taken over, where you don't need a jailbreak. You still could to do certain things, but shortcuts is really taken over. It's like the next big thing. You can do a lot of things you couldn't before. So instead of waiting for a jailbreak, you could go use the shortcuts application, and it's really useful. And all I talk, you're really into that as well. I mean, I am too, but like you're the one like kind of started the trend, and everybody makes videos now, So.
Hey. So something I just want to mention about jailbreaking real quick is do you remember when the Electra jailbreak came out? That was like a big deal. Everyone was excited. I mean, I made a video on it. I even downloaded it on 2 devices and everything.
Yeah.
But I remember people were reporting issues about it, like, I don't know, a week or two after.
Oh, yeah, a ton.
People were getting pissed. Like, the Electra jailbreak developers were like, hey, you shouldn't be getting pissed at us, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at this, like...
both sides were wrong.
Both sides, yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I felt like there's this idea now that if you are having an issue with a jailbreak, you can't really complain about it. Otherwise, you'll just get yelled at on Twitter. I mean, you'll get yelled at for anything on Twitter. It's just an echo chamber. But
yeah.
I've noticed that since I installed the Electra jailbreak, my iPhone battery, whether I'm in the jailbroken state or not, has literally just been destroyed. My battery before the jailbreak had a 98% capacity, and a couple months later, it now has 86% capacity, and I'm on an iPhone 10.
Wow.
Yeah, no, exact same thing happened to me. Actually, let me look up
my battery is so and it's awful. And I noticed in my car, I don't have a stand for my phone, so I stick it in the air vent, and whenever it's like hot, my phone heats up. But because of the jailbreak, the phone continues to stay heated, even if I'm like cooling it off with the air conditioning. It's really weird. Like, I have a glitch. Once the phone heats up, it doesn't stop heating, and it's really screwed up my battery.
No, my capacity is at 87 right now.
Do you have an iPhone 10?
iPhone 10.
Same thing. So I have an 86 right now. And I don't, like, my iPhone 5S is better. Like, what?
Yeah, I remember Yalu jailbreak was phenomenal.
Actually, I kind of lied. The iPhone 5S, I don't think you can tell the percentage, but the iPhone 5S lasts longer. So,
yeah.
There's no percentage option.
Yalu and Pangu were like really good, and then Coolstar, everyone got excited for that Electra jailbreak, and it turned out to be crap. And now we got Uncover, which is a lot better than Electra, and everybody's going over there. So, I mean... I guess just like ignore Electra at this point and just wait for Pawn 20 to release his jailbreaks, I guess.
Yeah. It's just like, it really sucks. I ruined my device. But I mean, at the same time, if you're jailbreaking, you should know what you're getting into.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they do tell you.
There's videos out there, and there's also like forums and stuff that tell you like the benefits and the disadvantages of jailbreaking. It's all out there. And I mean,
this is my first experience of it, like, actually destroying the hardware on my device. Yeah. I thought, like, it would really only do glitches and stuff, but I didn't know it'd actually screw up, like, the hardware. I don't even know it's possible.
But I got a suggestion. Don't ever jailbreak an old iOS device. Like, a super old one on a new firmware. Never do it. Never. Because it freezes up. It's, like, almost unusable. Like, I used it on I jailbroke my iPad mini. Like, first generation, and I experienced nothing but problems. Like, always an issue. So, like, don't jailbreak your iPad mini or, like, an old device like that on a new firmware, because, it's gonna freeze up. There's always gonna be crashing. There's always gonna be issues. So, just don't jailbreak an old device. Like, I suggest getting a newer device jailbroken, because you'll experience less problems that way.
With my experience, when I was in school, all my friends and stuff had, like, the iPhone 6S. I was still having an iPhone 4S. And my phone was slow as hell, right? Yeah. And I decided to jailbreak it. And the only tweak I had was the improve the animation one. It was no slow animations or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
and my device felt fast. That's the only tweak I have on there. So I think like depends on the device. I wouldn't say jailbreaking ruins your phone. It really depends on the jailbreak, depends on the software, depends on the device. You just got to do your research before you jailbreak. Different devices are going to handle it differently. And yeah, that's all.
I definitely feel you on the iPhone battery, though, because I've had my iPhone 6 for like 4 years, and my battery is shit. Like,
Well,
legit,
iPhone 6 is the best.
Yeah, no, I'm planning to get a new
upgrade.
one.
Yeah. I don't know, 6S is a lot better for people for some reason.
Yeah, I've had that thing for like 4 years, and it's like, it used to be like really good for battery, but then it like went downhill after a while.
Oh, this is interesting. How long do you think the iPhone 6S is going to last?
I think it's probably going to be iOS 13, if not probably iOS 14 or 15. Yeah, iOS 14.
I'm predicting 16, dude.
16, that far up? I think 14 is more likely, though. Actually, no, because the 5S is still being signed. So, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe more like 16, 17. It's hard to say at this point.
Yeah, because I think, like, the 5S, I think, will die next year. And then the year after that, I'll say the 6 will probably have 2 years. And now we're on, like, what? iOS 15? And then the 6 will die. And that's probably the last year for the 6S.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I think you're a bit generous, but I'm not going to disagree with you.
All right. How long do you think the iPhone 10 is going to last?
I think the iPhone 10 is going to last for like until maybe iOS 22 or something.
Decade.
The iPhone 10 is actually really well built. A lot of people say if you're looking for a phone right now that's going to last you a while, get the 10. It's going to last you a long time, more than your average iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
I agree with that.
And I think the increased waterproofing helps. Okay, water resistance. There we go. I caught myself. Don't yell at me. Yeah, no, my dad learned that lesson the hard way. He took it swimming, and while we were on vacation in Florida, luckily he had Apple Care on it, and it was $100 to get a new one. So,
well, that's good.
I don't have Apple Care on my phone, and the battery's destroyed, and it's jailbroken. Perfect combination. Just reboot, run some type of cleaner, and then take it in. You're fine. And tell them do not update for development reasons. And make sure you get them to sign a piece of paper saying that they're not going to update. Trust me. Oh, trust me. If they have that paper signed, you can legally go to court. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Or you just replace it yourself.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because I'll just get Siri shortcuts then. If they update it to 12,
Exactly. That's why I wasn't complaining about when I complained, but I wasn't complaining that much because I just love shortcuts. It feels so much smoother on 12.0 than it did with unjailbroken on 11.2.5, 0.6, somewhere around there. A little bit shitty on that one, but
I don't remember those numbers. But yes, 11 point something, yeah.
I was on 11.2.x. And that's when I jailbroke, and that's when Uncover messed up my jailbreak, and I had to upgrade to 12.0.
You were one of the few that had an Uncover issue, right? Because most people didn't.
Yeah, but it probably came from my 12.2.x issue.
Yeah.
And then I'm messing with the 3G or 3GS? 3G on I want to say 4.2.1 right now.
Trying to jailbreak it?
Just, trying to see how old. I mean, it's slow as hell.
Yeah. Those are cool phones. I like the old stuff. I'm trying to. I tried jailbreaking an iPhone 2G. Well, sorry. I tried to jailbreak one, and then the other I tried to get on iOS 1.0, and you need, like, Windows XP. Mm-hmm. And I got there using a virtual machine, but I got so close because the USB ports stopped working on that computer. So I couldn't read the phone. It was stupid.
Did they stop working entirely, or did you have VM issues?
It was just the VM issues. They work on the computer, but it is just...
see? The VM issues I had to debug for about an hour until I got it running right.
Yeah. Alright. So, AirPower. I don't know if you know this, but if you've been paying attention a little bit in the Apple community, but, a year ago, Apple promised they would announce AirPower before the end of the year 2018. That's what they said. Now, people have been going crazy about this because they're like, well, it hasn't been released. You know, they've had an iPhone event, they had an iPad event, they had the iOS 12 event when that happened, they had another iPad event, like with the Mac event and everything. Like they've been having all these events, had 5 events within the past year, right? And we still haven't seen any updates on AirPower. So that kind of doesn't look good for a company that promises it. But the one thing, like, everyone's forgetting is that Apple said they would release it before the end of 2018. And 2018 still has a month left. I think people forgot about that. So
and also here's the thing.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't really preview what they're going to drop. They don't like, oh, it's dropping in a week. They just drop their shit.
Yeah. So So there's something like fishy going on with AirPower. Now, I think what's probably happening is they overpromised, right? They had like all these, like this was during a time where I guess we're having a groundbreaking technology moment for their company at least. Like this is when they released the bezel-less iPhone, right? With the iPhone 10. This is when they released wireless charging on iPhones. Like this was a big moment for them. So I feel like they may have overpromised with this new wireless charger that charges 3 devices at like the same time, which is a pretty big deal. And
you're missing the biggest part of the charger. The Apple Watch, the AirPods, and the iPhone all require different like charging. I want to say apparatuses. It's not the right word, but they require different things to be inside them. Like you can't take your Apple Watch and plug it into your Apple iPhone wireless charger, and vice versa. You can't do that. But on their mat, you can just slop them down wherever, and it will charge. That's the fun thing about it, and that's probably where either one, their hiccups are coming, or two, it's going to come on time, like they said.
Yeah. So I feel like Apple is almost there, but I think they overpromised. They didn't have the technology at the time to do this and make it working, but I think it's just going to take time.
So Steve Jobs, when he released the iPhone, he said that he was waiting for this moment for 2.5 years, and that's what Apple did. They waited until it was time to release the device. Clearly, Apple didn't do that with AirPower. They just released it as soon as they were, they came up with the idea and the basic design. They have waited all this time and didn't release it at all, and it's not even ready yet. Like that proves that it's like a similar situation to the iPhone. The technology is not 100%, good to go for release. So honestly, I think it's going to release next year, maybe mid 2019, but I'm not sure. They should have announced it way later. They're doing exactly what they should have done with the iPhone. They waited 2 years to release the iPhone, the original, and they didn't wait with this. They just release it and then nothing happens. And there's AirPower rants on YouTube. I think iTweaks made one, and a couple others have as well. Like it's really getting people mad. Like Apple releases a product that they announce a product that they never release. Like you can't do that. Like you gotta, if you're gonna announce something and then make us wait, tell us at least. Like that just made no sense at all.
They did. They said by the end of 2018. And here's the thing: when they were releasing these wireless, so were other companies. And do you think that they wanted to announce what they were doing before the other companies did?
Exactly.
I mean, at this point, when they were first developing the iPhone, it was, I don't want to say magic, but no one thought of that so far. Like a touchscreen smartphone.
Never been seen before, yeah.
That was never been seen before, and it blew everyone away. But since we have companies that can all do roughly the same things, with little, design and preferences to the user here and there, how would Samsung not think of, we can charge our watches, we can charge our phones all in one mat?
Apple was just claiming the idea first in a way, right? They're saying like, hey, this is our idea, and so that way when Samsung comes along, whatever company, right? Apple can be like, oh no, we were first for this. And
exactly.
It just kind of but that's the thing though. It kind of sucks because Apple was at the top of the game. They released products that other companies weren't able to. Android, they just were not able to, compete at the time. And now, those phones in a way are better than Apple products in some ways. And Apple's behind.
Yeah.
And Apple's kind of behind in a way. They're not really, but they kind of are. And
if you want
they're leagues behind, dude.
Like
if you want to use that excuse, please mind my interruption. First off, Apple doesn't put half-ass products into their phones. Yeah. When Touch ID was ready, they put it in the phone. When it was ready and when Face ID was ready, they then put it in. They don't put Face ID in their phone when it's only going to work half the time and it's only going to read your face.
No, I agree with that.
And also, has any other company made this charging mat yet?
No.
Exactly.
Apple is still somewhat original. I agree with you there, but I was just saying, like, you know, Samsung and the other companies, sometimes they beat Apple and they come up with stuff a couple years or a year or something before Apple does. So in a way, Apple is behind in some ways. Some ways they're ahead. I feel like, you know, if maybe like if Steve Jobs was still around, we'd probably be a little bit, you know, more ahead. Like he'd be coming out with even more things that we can't even imagine right now.
We still have a 4-inch iPhone though.
Probably would, though. That is true though. That's one negative.
No,
but
I really think they have changed.
Yeah, but that argument, you know, sure, Samsung is releasing features to their phones before it, but a lot of them are half-assed. Do you guys remember when Samsung or whatever company released the fingerprint reader?
Yeah.
It was literally a cheap fingerprint reader. Like,
that's the thing with Apple. They find a technology that other companies have kind of found what works, like the way the users react to it. They think it's really cool, but Apple perfects it to the point where it works seamlessly, and that's why Apple still remains like Apple, you know?
Yeah.
That's why
Apple's definitely the best, but I'm just...
Who knows? Maybe they have patents on their stuff before the companies even release it, and then they release it, but they release it a year or two because it's half-assed.
Yeah. No, I understand, like, Apple puts all their time and effort into making these devices the best they possibly can be. They're the best company to go to, but I'm just saying, you know, in some ways they're a little bit more behind than they could be. Like, they could be a little bit further ahead. I mean, it is what it is. You know, we're probably still going to get amazing products in the years to come that we can't even think of right now. But still, I feel like they could be even further than they are currently.
You also got to think about it because Apple pretty much always has, like, a 1-year cycle. They always release their phones during September.
Yeah.
And now, with an exception of the last few phones, because they've had multiple, that was kind of a weird situation going on.
Yeah. And I think,
like, a lot of other companies, they don't really have, like, a set date that they, like, release their phones. So, for example, some phones will, like, have a new phone released in 8 months, you know? So I feel like they have more time to adapt to the newer technology, and they look like they're further ahead than Apple. But meanwhile, during that whole time, Apple's learning how to perfect a technology that's 8 months old, but they put it in the new phone, and it works amazing. Kind of like other companies should be.
But I think,
plus the thing with people is they like to hype things up, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is I feel like Apple releases things too often. Like, it's good and all every once in a while, but I feel like the yearly iPhones, iPhone 10, iPhone 10s, you know, every year, like, it's good, but like for those years that barely anything changed on the phone, like, you know, I feel like at this point we might as well just, you know, do every other year maybe, because, you know, half the time we get a phone with barely any changes, and then someone just bought the new iPhone, and then another one comes out with only a couple differences, and they're like, well, now I don't have a new device, I want to go get that one, but I don't want to waste more money. So I feel like if they do it every other year, it might be more beneficial for Apple.
No. I like the yearly cycle. The yearly cycle is perfect. Like the difference between the 10 and the 10s.
I agree.
My dad has a 10s, I have a 10. And I can totally notice the difference between the 10 and the 10s. I'm not really sure if the Face ID works better, but I'm pretty sure the Face ID works fine on the 10. Yeah. But feeling the 10s, you can definitely tell it's not the same phone holding it in your hands on the exact same iOS version.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell. And that is definitely going to show in the future as you get into higher iOSs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 10's going to be way slower than the 10s.
Like I agree.
And the 10's a pretty fucking fast phone.
Yeah, so that means maybe the
not when it's on the electric jailbreak.
Oh yeah, definitely not. No.
I mean, I somewhat kind of agree with like what you last said, ATV, because it's like.
But it's like for people that don't have the money to get a phone every year. You know, and in the phone, in a way, like there is differences, like you guys said, but in a way, it's like mostly the same. Like you want a phone that has a lot of changes, but it only has a little bit. Like you don't really want that. You want a phone with more changes. That's why I do like the hype and the excitement of the Apple event every single year. But at the same time, in a way, I think that if it was every other year, it'd probably be better for Apple and the customers because the sales are down. The iPhone XR isn't getting out there as much. Like Apple thought that was going to get out there and it didn't. And a lot of the phones, like people are going more for the 10 than they are for the 10s and the 10s Max and the 10R.
I think it's good that Apple has the yearly cycle because think about it like this, like what if you did have the money though, right? And
Yeah,
Apple,
it would be
Apple
good.
was on a 2-year cycle. Wouldn't that suck though? I mean, like,
I
you
mean,
have to wait
yeah, but
another year of like not hearing a word from Apple. And on top of that, they have competition. They've got Samsung, they've got OnePlus, they got all these companies that are constantly making phones, even like within a year span. Like, these companies are making phones within 8 months. Like, I mean, people were like getting so mad about Apple for not updating their Mac lineup. People are going to do the same about the iPhone because phones they go at a faster rate than computers. So
but like,
I think it's good that they do it at a yearly rate because it gives customers a choice.
Yes,
That's
and
but like you said earlier about the phones like not being 100%, like, you know, with them releasing it so quick, they're not like to their full capability. You know, people usually wait for Apple to release the device with the fullest, you know, technology, like working like to the fullest. So I mean, you know, if they want that and they don't want like another product, you know, like that's the same, like mostly the same, like 85% the same from last year. I mean, I'm sure most of them, and of course them not having money, you know, they'd probably be okay with a 2-year cycle. And I think maybe not 2 years every year. Like if they got something good, release it, and then if they got something good the next year, release it. But if there's nothing good for the next year after that, then skip that year, take the extra year. Like it wouldn't be consistent, but you know, it would work, you know, in Apple's favor, I feel like.
But that's the whole point of the S upgrade, though. The S upgrade is for those people who have held on to their phone for 2 years, but rather than getting the iPhone 10, for example, let's just say Apple's not going to release another iPhone for 2 years. What if the iPhone 10 was still the only phone available, and then the year after that they released the 10s or whatever, right? I mean, it's just the 10s. Like, I think it's a good phone to be released for people who don't have an iPhone 10, who maybe have a 6S or 7, right?
Yeah. And let's do this point. So, Mr. R, you have what, an iPhone 6?
Yeah, I'm planning to get one, I believe, tomorrow, maybe.
Okay. So, if we use that argument, you have an iPhone 6, which was released in 2014.
Yeah.
What if you could only get an iPhone 10, right?
That is a 4-year-old phone.
Yeah.
What's Android user do you know that's not like a parent or a grandma? No disrespect to them, but like a techie person that is still using a 4-year-old phone from Android.
Not very many.
Yeah. True.
And I know a lot of people that still have their iPhone 6, that still have their 6Ss, that still have their 7s. Like, there's a decent amount of people that still use those devices.
Well, 7s
and
are
having
that old. 6Ss are still kind of, or they're slightly old, but they're not too bad. I feel like 6 is like where it's getting like a little older, you know?
I don't know, 7 was released in 2016.
I still have it, and it runs just as fast as when I first got it, so I mean...
Exactly, and that's a 2-year-old phone. Yeah. What Android can you say lasted 2 years and it still acts like day one?
Yeah,
actually, right so the camera I use to make my videos is an Android phone. It's a OnePlus 5? I can't remember. How do I not know that? It's 2 years old, and the thing runs amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
But hold on, I haven't updated to the latest software. So
but I don't think he's talking about those specific phones. He's talking about in general, most Android phones don't last that long.
That's true.
Yeah, and you're getting into the higher end Androids there, which can actually compete with an iPhone.
Yeah.
But see,
that's when we get into the territory of they don't really have 100% like a fully working product of like Face ID or the fingerprint scanner.
Exactly.
That's what you're dealing with.
Yeah, like an iPhone 6, all the features on an iPhone 6 work.
Yeah.
And they're gonna stay working, especially keeping it on the lower iOS version. Like, I was playing with my 5S that I just recently updated to 12, and it, without anything on it, no jailbreak, no tweaks, it's fully clean. It runs fine.
Yeah, same. I had to recently update my iPhone 5S. I will say certain apps aren't really optimized.
Exactly.
But, you know. It's a 5S. You gotta give it a break, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for me personally, I didn't really think about like getting a new one until my phone just started going down the shitter and the battery power and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which I fixed my battery power issue with a new battery.
You know, I thought about getting batteries, but I'm like, why don't I just go and get a new phone?
Yeah.
True, because you're gonna have to do that in a couple of years anyway. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the end of today's episode of 941 Podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it. It was great to have All I Talk on as a guest today. We're hopefully going to get him on as a regular host, if possible, but we aren't sure due to scheduling. But if he does come on, regularly, we'll let you guys know. But he's going to be on he's going to be a regular guest. He's going to be on not as a regular host, but he's going to be on more than, a special guest. So expect him coming on more times in the future. So we're happy to have you kind of on the team.
Yay.
So
I'm officially cool now.
Yay.
I wouldn't go that far, buddy.
Yeah, I'm still irrelevant.
Yup. Oh my god. So guys, thanks for watching the 941 podcast. We'll see you guys next week.